because we're going to be setting them in a diamond pattern like this. So I measured the gap in the middle. So that's what I'm going to set it at for these first rows, because when you're setting them like this diamond pattern, there's no real... If we were setting them typical way, horizontally, you could put the spacers and you'd be fine, but the first row, it's kind of guesswork until you work your way up. The other thing we have are a bunch of the 3/8 inch spacers that we're going to put in between the parallel lines of the tile. So we're all ready to go, and I'm going to set the first row. Here's the point where I'm at right now. It took about an hour or so, maybe a little more. I spent a lot of time on this first row trying to get this right, because I had that uneven tub and concrete board. I wanted to get it nice and a gradual step back to the board, not a sudden step. So I built up a lot more of the tile adhesive on the wall to get that gradual transition. Another thing I found with our diamond pattern is there's three things. There's level, there's the alignment of the stripes diagonally, and there's the spacing. And it seems like I can only get 2 out of the 3 at the same time. I can't keep it level and spacing and the diagonals all at the same time. So I'm keeping all the tiles level at the top, and I'm keeping the spacing pretty close and the alignment pretty close. So I don't know whether it's the walls or how I'm aligning everything or what, but hopefully we found that with our other shower it wasn't very noticeable when it was all done, so hopefully this won't be noticeable either. Okay, here's how I have been putting the tile adhesive on the tile. I will get the mastic or tile adhesive on the trowel, a good amount, and then I take it and I will scrape it off onto the tile. Next thing I do is spread it over the entire surface, and then I'll take the grooved end and scrape it back over. If there's any areas where I think I missed, I'll take the corner of it and just kind of go over and get some more on there. And that's how I'm putting the tile on, and then I'm just sticking it on the wall. I'll put the trowel down as evenly as I can, and then I put the spacers on. And I'm using 2 spacers on each flat side. Sometimes they'll fall out, but just like that, wipe away the excess, and then I get the level out and I'll check them. I can see that this side needs to come up to about there, so maybe I'll push these up. When I push these up, the spacers might fall out like that, but I think it's more important to get it level than it is to get the exact spacing you need. You won't even notice that when it's all over. Right here I have my bucket of tile adhesive and 3/4 inch groove trowel. I have my level right next to me. I have 2 wet rags for wiping my fingers off in case I get any of the tile adhesive on the tile. I wipe it off right away. And I have my spacers here. In one box here I have my whole tiles, and another box I have my pre-cut half tiles. Luckily these are all half tiles. It just worked out that way, so that saves a lot of time. On the other shower we had to run down and constantly cut tiles in half. So I'm taking a good amount of the tile adhesive, spreading it on the tile, covering it completely, scraping off anything on the edge, and then using the groove edge and getting the correct amount of tile adhesive on there. Setting it on the wall, wiping off any excess, putting on the spacers. I'm trying to get 4 on per tile, but most of them are falling out because I'm checking it for level. And if I'm off somewhere, like I can see one's high, I'll push down on it, or I'll lift up on another one, and that's when they fall out. So I'm just going along doing that, working my way across the wall. One row I'll have all whole tiles, the next row I'll have 2 half tiles on the end. Set it, wipe off any of the tile adhesive that gets on the front. It's okay if it's in the grooves, you'll never see it, that'll be covered up by the grout. And I'm just setting the spacers in the beginning, but you can see a lot of them are falling out because it's that diamond pattern. You gotta wipe all that excess off. So this side could come up a little, and that side could come down. So I'm just adjusting it as I'm going, not letting it get too far out of level. And every once in a while I stand back and make sure I haven't screwed up a spacing or either too small or too close. Too wide, that can be fudged and you will never notice it. Too close and that'll be a problem. So working my way along, and then when I have the small piece on the end, same thing, adding it, spreading it, scraping it so I have the right amount, and then placing that in the corner. So that's how I'm going, and I have 2/3 of the way up on this one wall left to go. Alright, here's where I've gotten so far today, and you can see that I started putting some of the adhesive on the wall, and that is because I'm about to put on the colored accent tiles in a row, and you can't put the tile adhesive on the back of those tiles, you have to put it on the wall first. So I'm going to start adding these half tiles right here in a line, and then I'll put the glass tiles on that and then build up from that. You gotta watch your spacing on the bottom. I think I'm gonna double up the 3/8 inch. Oh, if it needs it. Well, here's where I got to yesterday, last night, and the more eagle-eyed viewer of you might notice the big areas here and here where I had to tear the tiles out. Luckily they were still wet, it hadn't hardened, but Carrie came in and said, where are you going to put the shelves? And I forgot that we have to leave cutouts for the shelves to attach. You attach them with the tile adhesive. So I just peeled them off while they were still wet. A fortunate thing about that was I was able to move past it, install the accent tile, and keep going up. So it wasn't all bad. So I'm going to finish this up at the top, then I'm going to start on both sides and work my way up. And another thing I have to do is now match the corners, because I'm going to use half tiles on these corners, so I have to match these as I go down also. So that's a fourth thing I have to do. Level, match the parallel alignment, get the diagonal lines to be straight, and now I have to match the tiles to themselves in the corner. So I can't do really all of those at the same time. I'm kind of fudging some as I go. You can see some of the diagonal lines have a little jog in them in some areas. I'm making sure that I'm keeping it level though. That's the most important thing. So keep going. That's pretty good for one day, so see how much I can get done today. Just to show you how we've been cutting the tiles for our shower remodel, we've been using this. It's a really nice wet tile saw. We fill the tray up with water and it pumps it through as it cuts it with the diamond blade. Here's the tiles we're cutting. They're small 4-inch tile, and a lot of times we're cutting them right diagonally in half. And for that, I made this jig that holds it at 90 degrees, and it will hold the tile in there in that diagonal pattern so we can cut it. It's really smooth. It's a lot nicer than the cheaper saws. It's got a sliding track. So let me show you how you cut. The video you just watched was just one part from a series of bathroom remodel videos we did. Click next to see the next video in the series, or you could check out my bathroom remodel playlist to see all the videos we did while remodeling the 3 bathrooms in our house. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to like the video and subscribe. Thanks.